everyone, I'm back, and if you have watched my first video, which talks about what I will be talking about, as in miscarriages, IVF and all my experiences, this is just something that I have thought through and experienced so many times, so I think it's only fair to share, and I will. I wrote down 5 things what not to say to a person who had a miscarriage or miscarriages. Please don't say it. So the title is Don't Say It, It Hurts. Well, don't say it, please, it hurts. Because it does. I experienced these phrases or like statements, I don't know how to call them, too many times so far, and to be fair, it's not the best thing to hear, but I will defend them as well, because I think that your loved ones, they hurt for you, they hurt with you, and then they just don't know what to say because they haven't experienced this before maybe. I don't know, it's quite difficult to draw a line, but I will educate some people, whoever are watching or thinking or going through. Please don't say it. It's, you know, it doesn't help. And all you need is comfort and help, really. That's what you need at these moments. The first one is, I'm actually looking down because I just wrote it down. Yeah, this one is the most common one that I mean, I've heard it like, I had 3 miscarriages and I had 2 failed IVFs. So I've heard this. So it's, at least you can stay pregnant. This one, it's the weirdest thing to say, but it feels like it comes most naturally to people. So I don't really get it. But I don't know what you're saying, because it doesn't mean, look, I've been there too many times, I get it. It didn't work for me. How do you know that I will carry the full pregnancy? Because you're telling that person, oh, you know, like at least you can stay pregnant, which means you will be pregnant and have a baby. It actually doesn't. Not to be negative, of course it can be, but you can't guarantee that to me, so you can't say that to me. So this one actually hurts, and this one gets to the point when you just look at a person and go, why did you say that? That doesn't relate to me right now. But anyway, that's the one. So whoever is watching, please don't say it to people, because it hurts. Okay, and this one I've always heard so many times. So the second one on my list is, it's very common, so many people have it, don't worry. What? So yeah, for me that's also like, it can be anything in life. But yes, you do worry, because it's kind of your thing, it's your health, it's yourself, and you just can't say that. Oh, you know, it's just happened so many times, just forget it. But trust me, when any issues, I'm gonna be general here, when any issues is happening to you personally, it can be vary from like very small issue, but because you never had a bigger one in your life, that one actually hurts. So don't approach it like that, because it's not cool, and you almost dismiss that person in you telling her or him, like it could be a partner, you know, who you're talking to, and just say, oh my god, it's so common, like happens to, like, we know how common that is because we are going through. So he says, you know, straight away when you have a miscarriage or miscarriages, you are on the internet, you are reading books, you are communicating with people, so you know already it's 1 on 3, 1 on 4, whatever the number is. So it's just not helpful. All you need at these hard times is help, and you know, someone who will listen. That's all it is, really. And the third one is the one that I always heard, but I keep hearing it still. It's basically, oh, do you know what? You're under so much stress, you just have to relax and it will just happen. Well, listen, not necessarily. We all know in this situation that the stress and worry do not help to the matter. It's like, we all know that, right? But then I can tell you, first time I was really relaxed and I had no thoughts or anything related to that, but it just didn't work. So I do agree where they're coming from. It comes from the heart, that you just need to kind of relax your body and, you know, de-stress, and it will just happen. But still, some of us have been there and done it this way. It just didn't work. So it's not the helpful one to come out with, because it's just doesn't do anything for me, and it didn't do anything for me. Okay, so the fourth one is you just have to move on. You just have to move on. Yes, okay, thank you. Obviously, you have to move on. It's not even the thing that, it's not something that, I don't know, it's so weird how people come across like thinking that what else am I gonna do? But what you actually really need is time. Time heals things, trust me. I've been there too many times personally. And it almost doesn't get easier, but it gets easier. Because I always feel when you've been hurt in the past of certain things, you almost take it a little bit better. You know, I did personally, and you have a hope, but it's always almost like, I just have to be realistic here. And it helps because you're avoiding almost a little that hurt that will harm you. That's how I can explain that. So don't tell to people to move on, because they will move on in their own time, and they know that they have to. So they'll just do it for themselves. You don't have to tell them that. And the fifth one, it's not a fifth place, it's not like by importance in this video, but it is the one that actually, it is so hurtful that you almost feel like it's so damaging when people say that. And I just want to say it because I really don't want to hear it again, basically. And I can tell you that none of the women who experience this, or men, like let's just put it all together, the women who actually experience this, don't say it to them. It is the one, at least it was early on, and it really wasn't a real baby. Like that, it's something that if you are a female, if you have been pregnant and had a child, and if you're a female who have been pregnant so many times, once, and it just didn't work, how is that to you? That is a real thing. Like to you, that is, you put it into it's a real life. This is not just numbers or things that you just kind of get rid and you don't have them anymore. It is very precious to you, to anyone. And it doesn't matter if you are a more emotional person and you attach to this a little bit more, or you're completely like going, oh, you know, it was just another miscarriage, or it was just not a good situation. So you can look at it from any angle you want, and any woman has the right to feel in their body how they do feel. It's everyone's right. But it's not the right thing to say that wasn't a real thing, or at least it was too early. It wasn't, at least it was the week 12, it wasn't 15. Like what week can you go to feel like, oh, okay, now it's a real thing, now they can really feel sorry for me. Yeah. So to me, these are 5 things for you not to say. Please don't say them. They're not cool. And they leave that person worse than they are in the first place. I can reassure you that. So what I would say on a positive note is, I didn't write that down, but I know what you should say. I'm really sorry for your loss, and I'm really sorry for what happened to you. Or I just say, I don't know really what to say. This sucks. This is just not the good situation. But we're gonna go through it, and just be a good friend. Just take the person out for a drink or out for a walk. Listen to them. These are the things that you can do, and it will help 100%. I've done it so many times. I have so many lovely friends they listen to my stories over and over again, and I'm sure they've like had enough of listening to them. But they, you know, they have helped me to become stronger, to have hope, and to just be realistic. And you know, life is good. Sometimes we don't have things we want, and sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't get them in the way that we imagined it to be, in an almost natural way, but they come in different, I wouldn't say different forms, but in different ways. You just have to be positive and happy, because that's what's gonna make everything better, one way or the other. So definitely stay tuned and think about it. Send me some of your like questions or statements that people were telling you that I haven't obviously mentioned. There's plenty more. I've heard them. So yeah, do that, and then I would like to have a look and just maybe discuss them with you. That's what you want to hear. But yeah, have a nice day, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye!